Jared Goff's future with the Los Angeles Rams right now is up in the air. So, according to reports that have came out, the Los Angeles Rams are considering trading Jared Goff. Now, this comes a couple of days after it was announced that there is going to be a quarterback competition this offseason between Goff and John Wolford. Now, when you look at Jared Goff, he has regressed every single year ever since the Rams were defeated in the Super Bowl by the New England Patriots. In 2019, he threw for 4,638 pass yards, 22 touchdowns to 16 interceptions. This year in 2020, he threw for 3,952 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. Now, the relationship with Jared Goff and the Rams right now is a lot similar to my current love life. So for those of you guys who don't know, I recently started my first semester at college. Now, it's this girl that I like who I have been talking to for over the last 4 to 5 months, way before I even started my first semester here. And I really like her a lot. Okay, she looks really good. She has a good personality and she's really smart. But one of my biggest turnoffs with her and people in life is the fact that I do not like inconsistent people. I hate inconsistency. Okay, one day things are going good. The next day, I don't hear from her at all. She says she's going to come. She never comes. Then, we end up spending time together. We have a good time. Then the next day, she's nowhere to be found. It's just a lot of inconsistency. Now, I really like her, but I don't like inconsistent people. And a lot of people have been telling me, well, JT, you got to be patient. You got to give it some time. And I understand that. But at the end of the day, I have 13 weeks of this semester at college because the spring semester is going to be really short because we don't have spring break this year. So with me having 13 weeks of college, why am I going to waste my 13 weeks of college trying to make things work with a girl who is really inconsistent, where I could just move on and, just have my fun and live the college lifestyle, worrying about school, maintaining good grades, maintaining a good social life and also my love life and things like that. And when you look at the LA Rams quarterback situation with Jared Goff right now, okay, Jared Goff is really inconsistent. You don't know what you're going to get from Jared Goff on a week-to-week basis, and that's not what you want out of the quarterback position. With your starting quarterback, your franchise quarterback, a guy who you signed to a 4-year deal worth $134 million, you want to know that you're going to get consistent quarterback play out of him every single week. And with Goff, it's just 1 week he plays good, 1 week he plays bad. Like a LA Rams fan told me, he's consistently inconsistent. And for Sean McVay, he's fed up. And he's fed up to the point that he is going to give John Wolford a chance to compete for the starting job. Now, there are a lot of Rams fans who I were going back and forth with on social media saying that it's dumb for the LA Rams to bench Jared Goff because you're paying him so much money. Let me tell you guys something. Just because you're paying a guy a lot of money doesn't mean that he cannot be benched. The fact that Sean McVay is okay with benching Jared Goff in favor of John Wolford shows me how good of a coach Sean McVay is, because he doesn't care about how much money he's being paid. At the end of the day, your job as a head coach is to put the best guys on the field. And if John Wolford gives the LA Rams the best chance to win in 2021 in favor of Jared Goff, then you go with John Wolford. Money should not be an issue when it comes to deciding who is the better quarterback. And right now, Jared Goff may be making a lot more money than John Wolford times a million. But at the end of the day, just because he's making more money doesn't necessarily mean that he should be the starting quarterback, because money doesn't equal production. Just because you're making a lot of money doesn't mean you're good. Like, that is the common misconception that a lot of people have. A lot of people say, well, JT, you can't bench him because you're paying him so much money. Yes, you can. If you're not performing and you're holding back the team, why should you be starting? What, just because you're one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL? No. At the end of the day, you have to start the guy who gives you the best chance to win, despite the money that he's being paid. So when you look at this situation with the Rams right now, okay, you have the option. Okay, you're either going to have the highest paid backup in the NFL, or Jared Goff comes out and he wins the quarterback competition against John Wolford, and he ends up being really good come 2021. But this is a scenario with the LA Rams that is really tricky to manage, because you don't want to have your backup making, $134 million. So you ideally would want to trade them. And if you are the LA Rams, you most definitely are looking at upgrades. There is another rumor that I just got on my phone that the Rams are intrigued in making a trade for Matthew Stafford. So for Jared Goff, it's going to be really tricky to trade him, because he's not bad, but he's not great. When you look at his contract right now, in 2021, he's going to have a cap hit of $34 million. His cap hit in 2022 is going to be $32 million. So there's not a lot of teams who have enough cap space to take that cap hit. Now, Indianapolis has been the ideal team that a lot of Rams fans say that Jared Goff could be traded to. But a lot of people have to understand something. Just because a team has a lot of cap space doesn't mean they want to trade for a guy like Goff just because they have the cap space that could take on his contract. Because they may not want Jared Goff. They may be like, bro, why would we want to spend $32 million of our cap space trading for a average quarterback, an inconsistent quarterback at best? And that goes on to, what I was talking about earlier when I was referring to my love life. Why would I want to spend the 13 weeks that I have in college chasing a girl who is inconsistent like the Rams? Why would you want to waste this great defense when you have a really good head coach, a really good off the line, a really good group of wide receivers, and you want to waste this Super Bowl caliber team on a quarterback? Now, I understand that, this is a team game, but at the end of the day, you do have weak links, and Jared Goff is the weak link. Okay, when he played average this year, the Rams won the majority of their games. But when he had terrible games, those are the games that the Rams lost. Like, if Jared Goff played decent enough, I think the Rams only lost one game in which Jared Goff played average or better. But when he played below average, the Rams lost the majority of those games. So for the LA Rams, Jared Goff is holding your team back. And I understand that he is a former number 1 overall pick and all that other stuff and things like that. But at the end of the day, even though football is a team game, you still can have players who can hold you back from accomplishing your goal of winning the Super Bowl. And I strongly believe that Jared Goff was the sole reason why the LA Rams were not in the Super Bowl this year. Because remember, a couple of months ago, I came out and said that the Rams are my pick to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. And a lot of people are saying, well, JT, what happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. That's what happens when you have an inconsistent quarterback. It can cost you a lot of games. And it costed you in the playoffs, kind of, because you wanted to start John Wolford because you didn't really have a lot of faith in Goff. I understand why Sean McVay wanted Jared Goff to ride the bench behind John Wolford, because he was fed up. He felt like John Wolford gave the Rams the best chance to win. The fact that he was okay with starting a backup quarterback in the playoffs, despite the fact that Jared Goff was able to play, tells you everything that you need to know about how the Rams currently view Goff right now. So for Jared Goff, his future is currently up in the air. We don't know if he's going to be the starting quarterback in 2021. We don't know what's going to happen with him. But all we know is that the Rams and Sean McVay are fed up with his inconsistent play. And a lot of people in life don't like inconsistent people. Why would you waste the team that has a Super Bowl window right now with the average quarterback that's holding you back? Because if the Rams get Matthew Stafford, they're my pick to win the NFC next year. Okay, if they get Matthew Stafford and their defense is just as good next year as it was this past year, they're going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. They're going to be my pick. Okay, but if you remain with the average mediocrity that you have at quarterback right now, you're going to continue to come up short, because a lot of people make it seem like the quarterback position's the end all be all, which is not, because you can win with an average quarterback, but you can win with a consistent quarterback. You see, when you have an average quarterback, it's okay to have a quarterback that you know isn't going to lose you games, but he's not going to win you any games, because that quarterback most of the time takes care of the football. He's not going to cost you games. But when you have a quarterback that's inconsistent, that you know 1 week he's turning the football over and 1 week he's playing good, that's not the kind of ideal quarterback that normally wins Super Bowls. So for the Rams, I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to find somebody who could trade for Jared Goff, because if you're going to trade him, you're going to have to give up a couple of draft picks, because no team is just going to want to take that cap hit without getting some kind of compensation. So you're going to have to kind of do what the Jacksonville Jaguars did when they tried to trade Nick Foles. They just gave up a couple of gave up a draft pick or two to compensate for the cap hit that the Bears are going to take, taking on Foles' contract. So that's going to maybe what the Rams are going to have to do if they want to move on from Goff. They're going to have to trade into a team that's okay with taking that cap hit, and on top of that, they're going to probably have to give them draft picks in return for taking Jared Goff's contract and being able to take that cap hit. So let me know what you guys think about Jared Goff's future with the LA Rams down in the comment section down below. Make sure that you guys like the video for more NFL videos and content, and thanks for watching.